Listen, you guys, Cousin Sloth is out there getting herself arrested for possessing substances that we cannot mention. And we're also going to be discussing about several celebrities that are coming through, seemingly agreeing and supporting everything that Nicki Minaj has been saying on the internet. Meanwhile, Rihanna's team is out there doing the Nicki Minaj challenge. And we're also going to be talking about Van letting us know everything that really does go down behind the scenes. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea plug. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So, first of all, let us talk about my favorite cousin, Cousin Sloth. TMZ is reporting that Glorilla has been arrested because, well, she was possessing substances that I cannot mention on this platform. And initially, honestly, I was like, okay, what is this? And then I saw people talking about Mary Jane, and I was like, okay, Mary Jane is not so bad. I mean, a lot of people really do that. I mean, the tree. So later on, after actually reading through the facts of the case, I did realize that actually it is tree and another regulated substance. And of course, the internet is questioning what could that substance be. And as usual, the Babs do not waste any time because you do know that, well, people like to label Nicki Minaj as a Coca-Cola head without no proof, but they decide to turn a blind eye when any other female rapper is caught in a debacle which involves regulated substances. Okay, so they are on Cousin Sloth's fans' necks. Okay, pointing out the fact that, well, there are people who are actually caught in acts of usation of those substances, but you guys never call them the C head. There was another video that circulated of Dochi, and people were speculating that something was happening there with some form of powder, but no one was out there calling her a C head. And even regarding the lyrics that she has, nobody's out there even calling her that word. But let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. Okay, and furthermore, you guys, she was also released after posting $22,000 worth of bond. And that being said, also people were also pointing out the fact that, listen, as soon as she fell out with Bongo 2, she's getting arrested, and the conspiracy theories already are beginning to circulate, with some people blaming Fraudulent Nation, saying that, well, they are behind the arrest of Cousin Sloth on behalf of Bongo 2. And I'm just like, if Fraudulent Nation is now going out of their way doing this, that would be the most ridiculous thing ever. Because I mean, Cousin Sloth and Bongo 2 allegedly fell out over a man. I really highly doubt with the lot of cases that they currently have, they would have the energy and time to be out there bothering another female rapper over fighting with Megan over a boy, especially seeing that they're trying to sell the narrative that Bongo 2 has moved on with Clay. I highly doubt this time it is Fraudulent Nation. No matter how much I dislike those people, I don't think that they have the energy nor the resources to be investing in such petty beef. Okay. However, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Still talking about Fraudulent Nation, let us talk about Jay-Z and, this person that is alleging that, well, he is the father. Well, it is actually being reported that the person was forced to drop the charges, and they are alleging on their Twitter platform that the reason is their case was tampered with. And of course, some people are speculating that, well, maybe there was some form of polarization with that entire situation that might have led him to drop the case. But with the way that this man has been coming in the past couple of years, I highly doubt that he is one to take any form of settlement. Okay, the only settlement that he seems to be interested in is knowing the paternity results. It seems like he just wants to find out who his biological father is. If it was a case where Jay-Z could have settled, I mean, he could have settled big then. And it also really would implicate him if it does turn out that, well, in fact, this person is his son, given, the age of the mom and all of these things. So I highly doubt that he would even want to open channels of settling out of court with regards to this. Moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, let us talk about Chloe Bailey. It seems like Chloe Bailey is coming through with some facts that people have realized really relate to everything that Nicki Minaj has been saying on the industry, in as far as the dirty games that are played behind the scenes, and having to sell out so that you can sell out. You get what I'm saying? Having to sell out so that your music can sell out. So she spoke in code, sort of, but she made it clear that, well, when it comes to the music industry, there's one side and there's the other side. And if you do choose to not sell out, you will pay the consequences of not selling out. And then your counterparts that would have sold out would seemingly do better than you. And of course, when you try to speak up against such things that are happening in the industry, your counterparts that would have sold out will make it their mission and their mandate to make sure that you're labeled as somebody who's crazy. And of course, people were like, is this not the same thing that Nicki Minaj has been saying? Chloe herself, you can really tell that something is wrong in as far as her career is concerned, because the talent is there, the looks are there, she can sing, she can dance. So one would wonder, what is holding her back? Her mentor is amazing. Her mentor is Beyonce, who's literally on tour, who, if she wanted, would have asked Chloe to open for her. So obviously, people are kind of looking at Beyonce sideways to say, why would you sign these girls if you knew that you never wanted to give them a platform? And that then brings people to the conclusion that, well, maybe it was a situation of signing them in order to show off competition. But then again, if you're a young girl coming up, like, and you don't know anything about the inside stuff that happens in the industry, of course you're gullible. You're gonna rush at any opportunity, and being taken under someone like Beyonce's wing would excite anyone. I'm not saying necessarily that indeed that's what she did, but I'm just saying if that was the situation, I wouldn't even sit on here blaming Chloe or Halle for going under that person's wing, because a lot of people do look up to her. And the fact that she doesn't address any shady stuff on the internet, she has a clean image. But no one knows what happens behind the scenes. And people are more convinced now than ever that she's actually training Blue Ivy to come and be her replacement. And personally, if that's her retirement plan, I really don't have anything against that. I mean, if the rich, elite corporate people can leave legacies for their children, so can musicians. Okay? But now where I find the issue is if there is a possibility of signing someone to shelve them, to take away the competition in such an unfair way, that would be kind of sick, if you ask me. Because I mean, if your protege, your daughter, is talented enough to take over the music industry, you shouldn't be worried about who else is out there doing what. But then again, of course, it's Beyonce and people love her, and people do not believe that anything like that, she could be capable of anything like that. But let me insert what Chloe had to say, you guys, and then I'll catch you after that.
What else? What else do you want to know? Did you see Sinners? Yes, I saw Sinners. It was phenomenal. I absolutely freaking loved it. Can I be honest? After Sinners, I cried. Do you want to know why I cried? Yes or no? Or you're just like, Chloe, you cried because you're a crybaby. Just tell me. Okay, so I think anyone who... It just reminds you so much of the industry, right? And it's like, you could have a gift like he did with his guitar, and like they said, when he's singing, he's honoring his ancestors and uplifting and all of that, but then it also attracts the not good. So it's like, in order for him to be successful, the vampires were telling him he has to sell out so that he could be so he could live forever and his music could live forever. And it's exactly like things that I see and go through every day. And that's why I just like broke down crying, because it was showing like the people who decided not to go to the other side, They were in there fighting for their lives. They were in there going through it. While the ones who did give in, they were outside celebrating and having a good time and got things quicker and things like that. So the reason why Sinners resonated with me so much is because it's something that you see every day, and no matter how hard you work, no matter how good of a person that you are, no matter how talented you are, sometimes that's not enough to get you places that you need to be. And that's why Sinners, like, I was crying right after, because I feel like anyone in the industry could really resonate with it. And it also showed that what you have to give negativity permission to be inside. And as long as you don't invite it in, you'll be okay and safe. So that's why I really resonated with Sinners, and I thought it was so beautiful. I thought it was done so beautifully, and I'm just really proud of everyone who was a part of it. And I even cried when he was singing in the bar, and you see all the different, you know, the history, all of the ancestors that came before us, that he wouldn't have been there to make music and play his guitar without the ones that came before him. So I feel like anyone who has a gift and has something that they truly, truly love, but feels like it's not coming to them in the time that they want it because they're moving in the right way, so where they don't like give in, it's harder. And then you have like so many things tempting around you, like the vampire. So it was so deep. It was so deep. That's the reason I cried for like a whole hour after.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. There you heard that. Personally, I do believe that everything that Nicki has been saying is really meaningful, because when you look at the A-listers or people who have been in the industry for long, they never hold anything that Nicki Minaj says on the internet against her. Like a lot of veterans in the music industry, those that are not jealous, those that are secure in who they are. I mean, look at the likes of Sierra, the likes of Bibi, the likes of Rihanna. They don't even hold anything that Nicki says against her, because they know that there is some truth to everything that Nicki is out there saying. It's only the newbies and those that are jealous that, you know, try to act like she's being delusional and stuff like that. But one thing about it is, give someone 10 years in the music industry as a successful artist, and they will start singing the same tune. They will literally start singing the same tune that Nicki Minaj has always been saying. Where is Ice Spice right now? At some point, they made her feel like she was bigger than Nicki Minaj and was more relevant than Nicki Minaj, and was out there giving Nicki opportunities because of the potation and the promos and stuff like that. And that delusion will lead you to distraction. Where is Paprika right now? Where is she? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about this entire ordeal. Now, still speaking about celebrities who are out there showing Nicki Minaj some love, people couldn't help but notice that Rihanna's Fenty team was out there doing the Nicki Minaj High School Challenge with some Fenty products, and people took it to mean that, well, Rihanna is out there showing Nicki Minaj some love. And I mean, I kind of see where people are coming from, but when it comes to promos like this, I mean, I do believe that, you know, she has an entire team when it comes to marketing, digital marketing, and, you know, social media marketing and stuff like that. And I would like to believe that those are the people that came up with the idea. I refuse to believe that Rihanna herself is the one that said, now do the Nicki Minaj challenge. So for now, I don't think that this is Rihanna showing Nicki Minaj some love. I'm sorry, you guys, but let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Personally, I'm just waiting for the day that she's gonna tell us why she stopped recording music. That's what I want to know. Okay, until then. So anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Colin's girlfriend, Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, who came through weighing in on everything that Nicki was also saying. It seems like Van Lathan took the chance to school people on what happens in as far as media platforms are concerned and controlling the narratives is concerned. If you ever wondered why the likes of Lauren LaRosa are always quick to say, well, I reached out to this person's team and this is what they had to say, but they don't have the same energy when it comes to other people. It is well explained in detail in this snippet that I'm about to insert. It's because those people that they are reaching out to, I'm putting that in air quotes, they kind of have got a relationship. And the same reason why you guys were asking why Lauren is running with with Pant's response to what Nicki was saying, but never took the time to go and ask Nicki Minaj what exactly is going on behind the scenes. This is what happens. These are the media gimmicks that people are always talking about, controlling the media, controlling the media. And when they fail to control the media, what happened to Milagro is what normally happens. They will look for a way to pin you to a point where you're now dancing according to your tune. So let me insert what he had to say, but I don't think that I'm going to be coming back after that. That being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified each and every time that I post. Until my next one, see you.
It was Nessa, and she was talking about Nicki Minaj's claims about a smear job that Jay-Z had against Colin Kaepernick. All right. I have to say this. I think the thing here, and I've told this story before, I think the thing here is the Jay-Z part of it. Obviously, that's the biggest deal. But when Nessa's talking right there's a part of me that feels bad about letting her be on her own with saying that. And this is the reality. This is what happens, at least in what happened, at least in this one instance, because I was there. I know for sure. I'm not saying it was Jay-Z. I can't say that Jay-Z did anything, right? But I know for sure, that Roc Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z. For sure. I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. This is another story where I give Harvey a ton of credit, right? So I'm at my desk one time. This is after the Roc Nation NFL deal has been announced. And give Harvey more credit than just with how he played this. I'll give him credit for the fact that he goes, hey, I just got this information on the phone. I know who was on the other end of the phone. I know who Harvey's Roc Nation contact is, right? I just got this information on the phone and all of these things about Colin Kaepernick is what I just got told, right? He comes over to me and he tells me all of these things. And it was the whole Colin Kaepernick doesn't really want to play narrative. Like Colin Kaepernick didn't go to this training or he sabotaged himself this way or whatever. Actually, it was the same thing that people had started to hear on First Take. And it was a narrative that was getting around because either it was coming from what I thought at first is that either it was coming from players that had played with him or people that knew things. I don't know, but I had heard it before, right? And Harvey comes over to me and he says all of this stuff and he's like, yeah, did you know that he actually doesn't really want to play? And I looked at Harvey and I said, look, I don't think that we here at TMZ should be getting in the middle of what's going on between Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z. I think if we run what essentially was a hit piece on Colin Kaepernick, I don't think we have the cultural cachet to do that. Number one, to insert ourselves into the middle of that situation. And also, I think it's choosing a side in something that is literally at the core of a culture, of a Black cultural discussion right now. I don't think we should do it. And he listened.
And you didn't do it.
He did not do it. He listened. He goes, okay, that makes a lot of sense. He listened. I'm like, I don't think we should do that. Like, he listened, right? He went and got back on the phone. He went and got back on the phone. And when he came back, there was a different story. And the story that ended up making it to TMZ was that Jay-Z somehow had the inside track on becoming an NFL owner because of his relationship with the NFL. And that ended up being the story. You guys could probably Google that story. I'm sure it's still on the site, that Jay-Z was going to become an NFL owner. And the reason why that story went up is because it was still a story that kind of explained why he had decided to take the deal with the NFL. It was a story that made it make sense to people. Like, oh my God, maybe Jay-Z, as the owner of a team, can then put Colin on a team. Or maybe moving on from the kneeling situation is worth it.
Just have some influence and towards Black culture, people
can then put Colin on a team. Or maybe moving on from the kneeling situation is worth it because we're going to get a Black owner in the NFL.
Or just have some influence towards Black culture, people within the NFL. I get it.
Right. Because a lot of people were asking the question, like, why he did this, because it didn't seem like it was a deal, and they were pitting Colin Kaepernick against Jay-Z. Full disclosure, I know Colin Kaepernick and Nessa. I do not know Jay-Z or any of the higher-ups at Roc Nation, right? So I can't say what Jay-Z was having somebody do. But the fact that they were people from Roc Nation that were trying to put negative stories about Colin Kaepernick into the ether is true. Now, that is two things. One, so much more common than people would think that it is, right? So much more common in media than people would think that it is. That happens all the time. Essentially, the reason why I would tell celebrities all the time is, like, make friends with somebody at TMZ, have somebody in the office, is for two things. Number one, so you can get a story and a reaction that is favorable to you once you do find yourself in the middle of something. And also, so you can jump out ahead of stories and put your side out there. And a lot of times, I don't want nothing to do with the office. And I would tell people, like, the white people and the big corporations, they got people inside of the office that listen to them. Nobody's cooking stories for anyone. But the reason why at the bottom of an article it says, we reached out to this person for comment, is because we reached out to this person for comment. This is a story about you. What do you say about this? And if you don't comment, that leaves that. But if you say something, then you get the opportunity to at least have some influence on how that story plays on the page. Right? But they were into it, and sides were working. And so that was a thing that actually happened. I still do not understand why Jay-Z, why Roc Nation entered into the relationship with the NFL that they did. I'm not saying that it hasn't been good for some people. They spread a lot of money around. And even more than the money that they spread around with Roc Nation through, Inspire Change and all of that stuff. Man, I know activists that have been bailed out of jail. I know activists that have had money put in their pocket. Roc Nation has done good work. That one particular move, I still don't know why that happened. And there hasn't been a sufficient answer as to how you went from, we don't need the NFL, we don't need all of this, literally a year before, to becoming a partner with them, and then us getting essentially a Super Bowl halftime show for it, right? And if I were Colin Kaepernick or people that you know, or supportive of him, I would still have those questions too, because they haven't really been answered. I was never